Hello, welcome back to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today's show is Cellino v. Barnes, playing Off-Broadway at the Asylum NYC Theater. This was recommended to me by a subscriber to my YouTube channel, and I'm glad I went and checked it out. What is Cellino v. Barnes about? Well, it's about two lawyers that create a firm, and I don't know if they pioneered this, but they create a jingle that they play on the radio, and they have billboards of their faces, and this was very successful for them, and they created a very, very lucrative law firm dealing with personal injuries. The play follows their rise to fame, some troubles that they have with the law, and an eventual disagreement between the lawyers that led to the dissolving of Cellino and Barnes and them creating their own separate law firms. I scored a $45 ticket on TDF, the Theater Development Fund, who also runs the TKTS office. There are also discount tickets to be had for this show. This show is just 80 minutes, one act, no intermission. It stars two people, Noah Weisberg and Eric William Morris, and it is directed by Wesley Taylor and Alex Weiss, and it is written by Mike B. Breen and David Rafaelides. Not saying that right. Interesting that it's a bunch of pair of guys, bunch of bros working on this show. I'm familiar with both the directors and the actors, and so I had high expectations going into this because I know they are very, very funny and talented individuals. And the show is funny. The writing is funny, the direction is funny, and the acting is really great. These two actors are very good comic actors. They have a great chemistry. Every moment they are doing something to give us a chuckle. Now, despite how funny everything was, I actually didn't find myself laughing out loud quite a lot. Now, I had a nice grin on my face for the most time. I was thoroughly amused. I had a few chuckles. One of the funniest moments I thought was when Cellino has to enter the code into the safe and he doesn't want Barnes to see, and he turns him around. That moment was wonderfully acted, directed, written. Funniest moment in the play for me. I think maybe the reason that the show wasn't getting the laughs, not only from me, but from the audience in general that was there the night I saw it, is the show is very silly. And you get it right from the start. It's just a silly, silly show. But a lot of these jokes aren't really based in character or in the narrative of the play. They're just silliness for silliness's sake. Say that 3 times fast. And so I never found myself really being swept away by the humor. I was always a little arm's length away going, oh, that's funny writing. I also did not know going into this that this is actually based on 2 real people. But as I was watching it, I quickly became aware. The reason I came to that understanding is if it was a real farce, I think they could have gone into some crazy directions, just gone really wacko with it. And whereas the characterization is really wacko, the narrative moments aren't really crazy. They don't murder anyone. They don't, there are some crimes that are committed, but it all felt very much, oh, this feels like this is a true story. And as we reach the end of the play, they do mention that this is based on 2 real people, and you can check out the Wikipedia page to see that a lot of the things that they talked about in the play are true to life. By the end of the show, I didn't feel like I really had learned a lot about these characters that I didn't really know about them from the first 5 minutes. I knew that Cellino was traditionally handsome and stupid, and that Barnes was bald and intelligent, and they both are very unethical. There's some daddy issues going on with Cellino. They mention wives and daughters, and it really was just about their relationship. So, was I bored? Not really, because the show is very short and I have a pretty good attention span, and these actors always had some kind of antic going on. The script is tight and sharp, and the direction keeps the actors moving around the space in a way that keeps it interesting. The only problem is there is a relentlessness to this pace, and the silliness for many people might start to wear thin after a while. And I was okay, but towards the end, I was ready for it to wrap up. Was I confused? I had a little confusion, especially towards the beginning of the play, of just trying to understand what we were doing. What is the writer's perspective on injury lawyers who chase ambulances and are greedy and unethical? And I felt like the purpose of the play was just to be silly, and it succeeds at that. But I wish there was just a little bit more that gave me a little more perspective on how the writers feel about these types of people. Are they just to be mocked and laughed at? I don't know. Another confusion I had was the choice to stage the show in kind of a thrust stage manner. It's a small black box theater, and it's got more traditional seating in the back, but what they've done is they put 2 rows of chairs surrounding the playing area. And I was seated on the front row just to the side on the playing area, and I found what would happen a lot is when the actors were staged to play opposite each other on either corner, I had a back right in front of me, and I could kind of look around sometimes I couldn't. Now the staging moves a lot, so I wasn't stuck in that position too long, but as I was watching the show, I was thinking, I wish I was back a few rows, sitting in the traditional seating, in the dark and not lit and being part of the proceedings. I think I would have been able to laugh more and to really enjoy the show for what it was, not feeling like I had to be involved with it. So my suggestion is there's no ticket numbers when you buy your ticket. The ushers just seat you, and I'm sure they have protocol, and I do what I'm told. I sat where I was seated. I don't want to cause the ushers problems. But my recommendation is if you can just say to the usher, hey, can I sit back in the regular seating, and see if they'll let you sit back there? I just think the play would be more enjoyable from those seats. Now, if you're someone who likes to be in it with the actors, then sit on those seats right on the edge and keep your feet in so you don't trip them. So was it worth the $45 ticket? I was happy to see these actors work and the director's work and this new script because I wasn't familiar with it. It is hard to justify spending $45, $50 for an off-Broadway show when you can also score a Broadway ticket for that same price. So I'm on the fence about that, but there are definitely cheap tickets out there. If you're on Audience Extras, I know it's been on there. So if you score an Audience Extras ticket, go see it because you got nothing to lose. You'll have a few yucks. It's not a big commitment. It's a fun night out. So go check out Cellino v. Barnes playing at the Asylum Theater. I believe it's playing to the end of March, although they keep extending it, but maybe this is the last one. So go check it out. Let me know what you think.
Bored and confused, don't bore me, don't confuse me. If you do, then you'll lose me.